So today I'm playing dragons, big chunky dragons that fly over our opponent's pesky blockers, but a new one in particular has an amazing ETB that can just swing any game in your favour. Hey everyone, Hex here, and today we're seeing how dragons perform in the Brothers War meta. But before we get going, and if you haven't yet, it'd be amazing if you could go ahead and hit that subscribe button below to not miss out on future content, and you'll be massively supporting the channel in the meantime too. But onto this deck, and I try to play a dragon themed deck in each set, so feel free to check out my last dragon video where we played dragons in a domain style deck. I'll link it above. But with the Brothers War came in an interesting dragon that I've been super keen to try out. It's Tyrant of Kher Ridges. Now for 6 mana it's pretty pricey, but essentially it's a 4/5 flyer that when it ETBs does 4 damage to any target. Also for a mountain it gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Okay, so I must say each time I've cast this card I did end up winning. 4 damage to any target is so powerful and works in multiple situations. It kills planeswalkers, players, and any flyers in your way. The next turn you can normally attack for at least 10 with its fire breathing, so I've been very impressed with this card. 6 mana isn't even that hard to cast, especially in a dragon's deck, as we have another new card in Gwenna, Eyes of Gaea. It's a 3-cost 2/3 that taps for 2 mana of any colour to cast on creatures or activate abilities of creatures. When you do cast a creature with mana value 5 or greater, put a +1/+1 counter on Gwenna, then untap it. It's the perfect card to play alongside Rivaz of the Claw, which taps for 2 mana to cast any dragon creature. You also get to cast dragons from your graveyard, but when the dragon dies, it exiles instead. So these 2 mana dorks are the glue that lets us cast our other dragons. So we have Atsushi, the Blazing Sky, 4 mana flying trampler, that when it dies you can exile the top 2 cards of your library and play those cards until the end of your next turn, or you get to make 3 treasure. And we're playing Junji, a 5-drop 5/5 that has menace and flying, and when this one dies, each opponent discards 2 cards and loses 2 life. Or you get to put a non-dragon creature from any graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. Both these cards give us great value when they die, and because of this, I like to run Ziatora the Incinerator. It's a 6 mana 6/6 that says at the beginning of your end step, you may sack another creature, and when you do, Ziatora deals damage to any target equal to the sacked creature's power, plus you also get to make 3 treasure too. So we can always sack our dragon spirits for death triggers and Ziatora's trigger too. Lastly, I've got another new dragon, which is Phyrexian Dragon Engine. The 3-cost 2/2 with double strike and unearth. When it ETBs from a graveyard, you can discard your hand and draw 3 new cards. Plus, you can always cast this using Rivaz if you can't quite afford the unearth here. Interaction wise, we're running cut downs, go for the throats, and bankbusters. We've got the Elder Dragon War for board wipes, card draw, and another dragon, I guess. And I'm also using the Dragon-Kami Reborn. I used this in my last video and it worked pretty amazing, but this time it's in a dragon's deck, so it should be even better. It's a 3-cost saga that its first 2 chapters lets you gain 2 life and look at the top 3 cards of your library and exile 1 face down with a hatchling counter on it. The 3rd chapter transforms the saga into Dragon-Kami's egg, and when this dies or any other dragon, you get to cast a creature card in exile with a hatchling counter on it for free. So it's a great way to cheat out a huge creature. I'm playing 25 lands and that's the deck. I must say I had an absolute blast with this deck. Who would have thought that flying creatures still work so well, and especially those that we don't even mind dying. So let me know if you have a dragon deck that you use, and I hope you enjoy the games that I played with it. Alright, on the draw. Hand looks okay. I do wish we had just 1 more land, but fingers crossed we draw that over the next couple of turns. Opponent with a tapped blue-red land, and we find one of our Ziatora's Proving Ground, so that's a perfect card to play on turn 1. Okay, and they are Jeskai, it looks like. We find another Ziatora, so we'll drop that and hold open cut down. So I kind of like our hand right now. And it's an Iconoclast. Well, that can definitely be cut down. I mean, that card is going to take over if we're not careful. Also, we now know what the opponent's up to. So we'll drop our Dragon Engine now. It's a card that if they want to blow it up, it's not the end of the world. We can just play it again a bit later. But they don't. They play Wedding Announcement instead. Okay, so if they're just going to play a load of ground creatures, that should be quite nice if we can find some of our dragons that fly. Because unfortunately this Dragon Engine doesn't fly, but they take the damage anyway. And we'll play Rivaz now, meaning that if we draw a dragon over the next few turns, hopefully we can cast it. Okay, and they play their 5th mana and see what they're going to drop this turn. Well, they go straight to the end of their turn, so maybe holding open a Wandering Emperor here. So we drew our Tyrant of Kher Ridges. I really don't want to get that countered if I can help it. I think I'll just go to attacks with the double striker first, see what they want to do. Okay, and they're going to take 4 damage, so yeah, they're pretty much, I guess, holding open some kind of interaction. I think we'll just drop an Elder Dragon War here and see if the opponent wants to counter that one instead. We're going to go straight for the third chapter if we can. Kind of like my hand here. And they negate, fair enough. So they were holding a counter. I mean, we don't know if they could have countered the Tyrant there. And it's Teferi, okay. Right, annoyingly this is going to be on 5 loyalty at the minimum. So our Tyrant, which does 4 damage when it enters the battlefield, isn't going to be able to kill it straight away. So I think we'll set ourselves up to kill Teferi over the next couple of turns. So we'll go to attacks first, and we'll just attack with the Dragon Engine first, see if they want to let it go. Okay, they block. That's fine by me. I think I'm going to just Dragon War here on the first chapter, clear the board, and then next turn we can see where we are. We can even afford to cast the Tyrant next turn without using the Rivaz. So maybe we can do a bit of damage if the opponent just plays the one creature here. But we will see what they do. I'm not too worried about Teferi at this exact moment. And they're going to create a 2-2. Well, it's a 3-3, I guess, because of the wedding festivity. And we've got to go for the throw here, so we'll attempt to kill this. And it does die. Okay, so fingers crossed we can actually deal with Teferi now. Don't really want to discard any cards. I kind of like my hand here. I guess we could have discarded to then cast from the graveyard with Rivaz, but I don't necessarily think we need to worry about that right at this second. But we'll play the Tyrant. It's going to do 4 damage, so we can get rid of Teferi because it resolves. Okay, I didn't expect that to resolve, to be completely honest, but we'll attack the opponent with our 3-3. Okay, there's the Wandering Emperor. And they exile our Rivaz, so pretty glad that we didn't... Okay, and it's Destroy Evil on our Tyrant. Fair enough. So we are playing against control here, so... Well, a Jeskai sort of Planeswalker deck, but it's quite control-y as they play a Saheeli. And yeah, this is their aggression coming through. But I don't mind where we are right now. We're still on 20 life. I guess we go down to 15 now. But they are tapped out, and we do have a haster from the graveyard if we need to. Oh, and there's our Dragon-Kami Reborn. I think I'm just going to try and kill the Planeswalkers though. So unfortunately, we're going to lose our Dragon-Kami Reborn and our Junji from our hand. Well, I guess we didn't have to do that, but I did want to draw 3 cards, and they are fantastic cards. So we're going to be able to cast our 2 Tyrants over the next 2 turns. So I'm kind of happy with where we are. Opponent doesn't know we're going to obviously 2 of these in our hand. And yeah, I kind of like where we are here. Opponent needs to at least hold a blocker back, I think, this turn. I think it's important that they do that. Okay, they do. So no point us blocking here. And yeah, the power of these Tyrants are going to be great. We're going to start being able to do 4 damage to targets. I'm going to have to kill the Wandering Emperor, I'm afraid, right now. And yeah, we'll take out the Wandering Emperor. And we may as well attack with our 4-4. We aren't going to block with it. It doesn't look like they're going to attack with their 2-2 themselves. Okay, Voltage Surge takes care of our 4-4. Fair enough. But they are down to their last card. We have another Tyrant in our hand. And they can't really attack. Well, they do attack. Okay, they've hit Oops. Alright, well, I'm just going to block. Okay, they were trying to be too clever there by pretending they attacked on accident. So, kind of determined here to win this game here. Okay, so anyway, they give their token first strike. But I'm going to just kill off this Wandering Emperor while we have an opportunity. And pass our turn. And they just draw a land. Wonder if they attack. They do attack? Okay, well we can take this damage. We can do 9 damage back to them if we need to. So it's not quite dead. And we are running the risk of them drawing a card to win them the game themselves. So we'll just play Junji there, and we'll attack with our Tyrant, drop him down to 6. And fingers crossed we'll have him dead next turn. Okay, Saheeli creates a pair of 2/2s. Okay, they attack with the team. Well, this is a straight block with Junji. I don't think they needed to do that then. And yeah, we get to put the Iconoclast on the battlefield if we need to, but opponent scoops it up first. Alright, on the draw here. Hand is okay. We do have a nice 2-drop in the Bankbuster, so we should be good here. And we'll play our Ziatora and Sego, opponent with a swamp and another swamp. Okay, well we can just drop our land here and just going to pass the turn. Going to hold open the cut down. I'm expecting a... Okay, it's just Liliana. Fair enough. So I could have got away with casting the Bankbuster then. But they're going to make us discard, and we have a good card to discard here with the Dragon Engine. So yeah, maybe should have played the Bankbuster there. But I was wondering if they were going to drop a creature that we could have cut down, and we'll play the Bankbuster now. Yeah, so that turn we could have cast Rivaz and attacked down Liliana with our Bankbuster. And it's a Graveyard Trespasser, forcing us to discard here. Okay, well, we're going to discard Rivaz. If we just discard our Junji, they're going to attack us with the Trespasser, and we're going to end up losing it. And I'd rather have that than the Rivaz right this minute. So this is going to be a tough game here for us to win, but we will play the Elder Dragon War, make a 4/4, and at least this is going to force them to use Liliana. But we can attack Liliana first, I guess, so they have to block. Okay, and now they can't minus. So that worked out okay for us. They're going to make us discard. And yeah, we'll discard Cut Down for the moment. It doesn't look like they've got any small creatures, otherwise they would have cast them already. Opponent attacks us with their Trespasser. Really need a land here, would be lovely. And it's another Junji, fair enough. Well, we'll draw first and see what we find. Okay, there's a land, so feel comfortable over the next few turns that we might be able to take over this game. And we'll take out Liliana here. Another Liliana, fair enough. Okay, goodbye to our 4/4. And our opponent's going to hit us with their 4/4. There shouldn't be any creatures in our graveyard, so this is just going to be 4 damage. So I really want to land here. Oh, and we do draw one. Alright, that's perfect, because then we get to drop the Tyrant here. And gonna just kill off the Graveyard Glutton here. We don't need 2 Junjis, and we can then use the Bankbuster to take out Liliana. So yeah, these Tyrants are... I mean, I know they cost 6 mana, but they're so good in this kind of situation to get a 4 damage when they enter the battlefield, and then you've got a 4/5 there, and in this case we're just crewing it straight away with a Bankbuster. Okay, opponent with a go for the throat. But yeah, we're just going to play out our Junji here. And we could attack or we could draw. But I guess we just attack. And opponent's top decking. I guess we're top decking, but we do have a draw step, an extra draw step with our Bankbuster. And if they've got removal, yeah, off the top, got some removal there. Put our Junji, we can grab their Graveyard Trespasser. And it's still nighttime, so we're going to even be able to do 2 more damage to them by taking out our Junjis from our own graveyard. And we're kind of on the beat down a little bit here. Well, we might as well draw with the Bankbuster, see what we find first. And Gwenna, okay, well, our opponent scoops it up. All right, on the play. Pretty nice hand here, I would say. Yeah, we've got a bit of ramp on this one, so we'll see what the opponent's playing. Hopefully our Gwenna sticks around. And we'll drop our Swamp and say go. Up against a Plains. Okay, judging by their name, I was expecting to be playing a blue-black deck, but it looks like it is an enchantment deck. And we will deal with the Naturalist before that sort of takes over. Now we'll play Gwenna. We've got to expect them having some kind of prison effect here. But maybe they might not want to play it until they've got down their Weaver. No, straight into Circle of Confinement, and that takes care of Gwenna. So this might be a tricky game for us to try and win here. Rivaz is a decent card. They might not prioritize killing this one though. So we will hope it sticks around. And it is a Naturalist for our opponent. Do they have another circle? It's a borrow time. Okay, fair enough. I wonder if they were wondering whether they should be saving that for the card that we drop with the Rivaz. I think we're just going to play the Dragon War here. And we are going to just deal with the Naturalist. And then this is going to gain some value over the next few turns. So we're looking for our Tyrant of Kher Ridges. It's won us the game in the last 2 games, and I mean I think it's just a really good card in the Dragon deck at the moment. We'll discard our Mountain and our Dragon Engine, and we find a Go for the Throat and Dragon-Kami Reborn. So 2 nice cards there to draw. We'll play our Dragon-Kami though and start getting this going. Okay, no creatures here unfortunately, so we'll just exile land. And we'll just deal with the Weaver right now. So I like the fact we've got the Dragon Engine in our graveyard, so we can always draw 3 cards if we need to. Another Weaver for our opponent. Okay. And we're going to create a 4/4. Our Dragon-Kami. Okay, no creatures unfortunately. Well, that's a shame. So well, it doesn't really matter what we exile here. And yeah, we'll might as well just play our land. Play a Junji. So I'm expecting another borrow time, which will take care of both our creatures. Next turn then we can bring out the Dragon Engine and hopefully get some more card advantage going. Opponent also doesn't realise or doesn't know what's underneath our Dragon-Kami, and there's nothing there, so they have their own Kami of Transience. And it's just a land. And there's Atsushi. Okay, so again, I don't really want to use my Dragon Engine now, but we're going to swamp the board with flyers here. And I'm telling you, flyers at the moment they're so good. There's so many like pesky little ground creatures at the moment. It's just a wedding announcement for our opponent. And yeah, they're going to need to take care of this Junji. And it's just Michiko. So I don't think we die here. No, there's no way we can die here. We've got 13 damage in the air as well. So right now, I just can't speak highly enough of flying creatures. I played Angels the other week and went on a bit of an unstoppable run with them. And I think most of the time was just that our opponent's wedding announcements couldn't block our Angels, whereas normally they would be perfect to block the big creatures that people have. And yeah, we've just got lethal in the air here with our 3 dragons. So another win for us. On the draw here, and we have to mulligan that one, so we'll keep this one. It's a much better hand. I guess we'll have to get rid of the Tyrant for now. Although we would be looking to be casting that on turn 4. But not much we can do there, as they have a Citadel Stalwart. So some kind of artifact deck. Should be okay if they're just ground creatures. So we could cut that down, but presumably the opponent's got a follow-up. Yeah, and there's the Teethling Wormlet. And I think that card is a card I do want to get rid of now, before the cut down is unable to deal with it. And there is a Dragon Engine, but we'll play our Bankbuster. Say go. And opponent has the Beast Caller. Okay, so just sort of some kind of mono green deck I've seen at the moment. No artifacts though. Well, we'll play our Rivaz, take a damage to do that, and we may as well crew and attack. Hit our opponent down to 16. So a Tyrant off the top would be fantastic now, as we'll get to cast it next turn. Ooh, a Silverback Elder. Okay, so every time they cast a creature, they're going to start, well, they're going to kill our Bankbuster. So that is a little bit annoying for us there. I think we're going to have to look for some removal here, because I think this card's going to start to take over a little bit. I don't really know what else we can do here. It's just a mountain. Okay, well, we'll play our Dragon Engine and pass the turn. There was no point attacking there anyway. So yeah, we just needed removal there. Maybe we could have played the Elder Dragon War on its second chapter. Opponent with a Briarbridge Tracker. And they are killing our Dragon Engine, which is fine. They've left our Bankbuster alone, which we're going to need to draw into the removal we need. So yeah, this game looks tough. If we could get some dragons onto the battlefield, at least we could start flying over the top of their creatures again. But there goes our Bankbuster, okay. And yeah, massive attack here for 10 damage. I don't really see how we can get out of this one. And it's Ziatora off the top. I mean, it's one of our better cards, but it's a bit late in the game for this. So yeah, we'll just play Ziatora and hope that our opponent doesn't attack with everyone. Just take care of the Augur for the minute. Fingers crossed they don't attack. They play a slightly defensive. Sometimes it happens. And it's Clay Champion, okay. So is this going to be a 10-10 or a 12-12? Oh, 11-11, okay. Yeah, and they just get in there with the team, so fair enough, we got absolutely massacred in that game, but these things happen. Alright, on the play, pretty nice hand. The Tyrant of Kher Ridges has, each time we managed to play it, we've won the game, so we'll see how we get on this one. Okay, consider, so got to expect a mono blue deck here. Interested to see how we get on against this, actually. Alright, we'll just play our spells. It's the only way you can deal with this deck, I think, is just play everything you draw. And Dragon Engine's pretty nice if they want to counter it again. We get to play it in the next couple of turns, so yeah. That's countered. And Haughty-Jin. So I'm not an expert in the mono blue deck at all. I do notice opponents playing Haughty-Jin on turn 3 a lot. I would have personally not, but let me know if that is a sort of normal play there, because I'm not sure. It was obviously asking to be removed. But we will play out our mountain. So we have 5 mana now. We've got options. But yeah, we'll just go straight for our dragon, Junji. So if they've got a draw spell in their hand, I guess they're going to want to draw instead of countering our creatures. And Junji hits the battlefield for 5 seconds, and then it's a Fading Hope back to our hand, but it's not dead. Tolarian Terror, okay. Okay, so I did think about Tolarian Terror as this game was sort of progressing, that if they do find this, normally this is obviously a creature that wins mono blue decks the game, but we're just going to go straight over the top and hopefully with the bigger bodies. Another Tolarian Terror. So I kind of like where we are right now. We may as well block here though, because we are going to be able to remove those 2 cards from our opponent's hand. And it was another Terror and a negate. And we draw another Tyrant, so pretty light where we are right now. We'll drop Tyrant here. 4 damage straight to our opponent's face. Drop them down to 14. So we've got 5 extra damage with our lands as we pump up our Tyrant. So we can do 9 damage next turn. Just a land for our opponent. So they attack us for 5. Obviously we just take that. And we're just going to drop our other Tyrant here. 4 damage straight to our opponent's face. And we'll attack them for 4 as well. Put them down to 6. So they're dead from either of our Tyrants. And it's just a Haughty Djinn. And I think we should be quite good here. So opponent attacks with their Terror, or we can just take that. And yeah, we've got lethal on board. So the Tyrants have been absolutely phenomenal in this game. We've still got a stacked hand. And we'll pump each one of these Tyrants up to 6 damage, 6 power. And attack our opponent. We did end up going down to 4 life, so we weren't completely safe right at the end, but yeah, we just had enough to get over the line there. Alright, on the draw. Hand is kind of top heavy. I guess the cut down keeps us in the game early on. Opponent with a tapped Boros land. And we'll just drop our Ziatora. And it's an Epicure. Okay, so a Mardu deck for our opponent. But again, if they're just going to have a load of little 1 power ground creatures, maybe with an anvil, then we're just going to go straight over the top for much more damage. So go for the Throat's a decent draw there actually. Although it doesn't kill artifacts, so we've got to be careful of that one. We'll play out our untapped red mana source and say go. I think we'll just try and hold out until we can get these Tyrants down on the battlefield. Opponent with an Evolving Wilds, okay. Finds a Swamp. And an Underdog. Well, just kill the Underdog. Don't want to take any excess damage, and if they are playing a lot of artifacts in their deck, then I think the go for the Throat there is fine. And if they want to also spend all their turn casting the Underdog from the graveyard, I'm happy with that too. So we'll drop our Dragon Engine, and we did find another land, so 1 land off paying these Tyrants, which will just close out the game hopefully. So I'm really starting to like this deck. I really love playing dragons. I feel like you're always a top deck away from winning the game. Okay, I wanted to kill the Underdog before... Well, I wanted to kill the Underdog before the end step in case the opponent drew anything relevant. Wasn't sure if they played a land that turn already. But we'll attack our opponent for 4 damage. Play our Springs, and then yeah, we could just draw from the Bankbuster. Fingers crossed we find a land next turn. Crystal Grotto there for our opponent as they get to scry. And Recommission brings back an Epicure, okay. Okay, maybe not the card they want to be bringing back from the graveyard, as they also unearth the Scrapwork Mutt. But yeah, this is damage I think we can take. We do have a cut down, but kind of want to... I kind of want to draw from the Bankbuster, to be honest. So we'll let that go. Obviously, it just has unearth anyway, so it's going to die. And we will draw. Land would be nice. Okay, just a Phyrexian Dragon Engine. I'm going to go for the throw, okay. Well, we'll attack our opponent again. See if they want to block this. They recommissioned the Epicure last turn, so they do block, okay. Okay, and then they sacrifice their blood. Well, we'll just play the Dragon Engine, the other Dragon Engine, and hold open, cut down, and hold open our Bankbuster's draw. So we've got 8 damage on board here. They definitely need to do something. Recommission again for the Epicure. Creates another blood. So let me know if you know what the opponent's deck is. I'm thinking it's an Anvil deck, and they're just missing that. But they draw with their Reinforced Ronin. I'm also expecting a lot more removal. Maybe they've got Go for the Throats in their hand, which can't kill the Dragon Engine. That would make sense. And we will look in our... Well, we'll draw with our Bankbuster, find a land. So I'm just going to go straight for the Tyrant. Worst case, this resolves, we kill the Epicure. We attack for 8. They kill the Tyrant, but they go down to 6. Well, I guess I can crew up my Bankbuster as well. So we'll be doing 12 damage here. Okay, this is a lot of damage, and I think they've got to Go for the Throat in their hand. Yeah, and they scoop it up. Nice. So thanks for watching. I ended up going 5-3 with this deck. 2 games I drew so bad that I didn't show, but I'm really happy with the Tyrant of Kher Ridges when we got to play it. It always felt so powerful to play as you get instant value. Taking out Planeswalkers is definitely my favourite thing to do with it, and pumping it to win with 1 massive attack works well too. Dragons will always be one of my favourite tribes, and I hope they continue to make sweet new dragons like the Tyrant. FYI, it seems flying creatures still rule Magic, and I'm very keen to explore flyers more in Standard. Anyway, let me know if you would make any changes to this deck, and I'll speak to you again very soon.